Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 24HC. My name is Lane Harder. I am the chair of music composition here at SMU, and we are doing this event tonight in tandem with SYZYGY, which is the umbrella organization at SMU through which a lot of contemporary music is presented. SYZYGY is in a bit of a transition this year. From this point forward, SYZYGY is actually moving back to our chamber music area and will be directed by our very own George Nixon, who is also our chair of percussion. But however, composition will continue to have a collaborative participation with SYZYGY, and this event is no exception. This event, honestly, is really for our composers. And it's a really, really fun event every time we are able to do it. For those of you who do not know the details, last night our composers got together and each drew names of performers out of a hat. They each drew 3 names, and then they had 12 hours to write a piece of music for those 3 performers. And then this morning, bright and early, they all turned in their music to their performers, and then the performers have had 12 hours to learn it, and now we're giving a concert of that music. Henceforth, therefore, 24HC, 24-hour concert. So something I want to stress, and something that I've stressed to the composers, is that we don't do this as an exercise to say that contemporary music is something that you just throw together, because it really isn't. This event is much more about putting yourself into very, very, very specific situations in which you have to rely on technique that you already have, and so that you can make creative decisions very quickly. And there's a very distinct line between doing that and just throwing something together. So I can tell you, I've heard all the pieces. There's 6 wonderful pieces, stylistically all over the place. And this is always such a fun event. So thank you for being here tonight and for being adventurous with us. Our first composer is Eduardo Rodriguez Pina. He is a junior. And he is one of our president scholars at the university, and he wins the award tonight for me for best title of a piece. I love this title. So Eduardo is going to tell us about his piece, Confidence.
All right, hi, my name is Eduardo Rodriguez Pina, as you've heard. Speaking about a piece a little bit, recently, I should start this off by saying that this is actually my first premiere for any piece I've written in public. The reason for that being is that I've struggled in the past couple of years here at the university to really write anything that I believed was up to par to my peers and to really put myself out there. So I thought it's a new beginning. Might as well have the confidence to put something out there. And thank you to my performers that are about to come out.
Where is Eduardo? Eduardo, if you, thank you. If you had, yes, please. Someday I want to dig up the first premiere that I had at a university and play it for you, because I can guarantee you mine did not have a groove that serious. So, well done on that. Our next composer is James Urich. Could James, here he is. Come on down, James. Yes, please. We had some singers express an interest in performing this year, which I'm always very grateful for. And I told the composers, you must set text for singers that either that you have permission, explicit written permission to use, or that's in the public domain already. And James tackled this issue in a very specific and very effective way. So I'll let him tell you about that.
Hi, my name is James Urich, and Dr. Harder was completely right earlier when he was talking about how when you're under this kind of pressure, you stick to the techniques that you know about. But there's also through the wrench, because I've never written for a vocalist before, so I had to kind of improvise on that. So I hope you enjoyed this setting of the one piece of poetry I remember from high school English class and the 2,000-year-old poem I wrote a research paper about last year.
Thank you, James.
The love of nature holds communion with her visible forms. She speaks a various language. For his gayer hours, she has a voice of gladness and a smile and eloquence of beauty, and she glides into his darker musings with a mild and healing sympathy that steals away their sharpness and ere be is aware. When thoughts of the last bitter hour come like a blight over thy spirit, and sad images of the stern agony and shroud, and palm and breathless darkness, and the narrow house make thee to shudder and grow sick at heart. Go forth unto the open sky, and list to nature's teachings, while from all around earth and her waters and the depths of air comes still a voice. While you live, shine, have no grief at all. Life only exists for a short while, and time demands his due.
Need to write for a vocalist and don't want to write for a singer? Write for a narrator. That's actually a wonderful strategy, if you ask me. Thank you, James, very much. Our next piece is by Lillian Rivas. Lillian is actually no stranger to writing vocal music, and I think she may have secretly wanted to write a piece for vocalists, but she didn't draw the name of a vocalist. I should add that Lillian had funded by the university through an engaged learning grant. She got funded her freshman year, a one-act marionette musical / opera that's actually on YouTube if you'd care to see it, fully funded by the university. In any case, this is a sojourn for her into chamber instrumental music, and it's a slightly unusual instrumental combination, so I will let her tell us about A Wandering Thought.
Well, thank you for that nice introduction. I never really talk about my puppet musical anymore, but I'm glad that somebody remembers it. Well, I am very sleepy right now, and you might understand why, as I've been up very late working on this piece of music. This is actually my second draft. My first one got scrapped at 10:30, so you can see how late I was up. I'm very grateful to my performers. They really have put their all into everything. I'm very grateful for my sister, who stayed up with me in solidarity watching Phineas and Ferb. And I'm very, very, very grateful to Costco chocolate chips that got me through it all. At 3 a.m., a chocolate chip is really all you need. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy this piece.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lillian. By the way, my daughter and I had a big Phineas and Ferb watching marathon this afternoon, so full disclosure. All right, our next piece is Fixations on a Pulse by Max Whitaker. Max is a sophomore percussionist from Houston, Texas, and he drew a particularly interesting group of names, 2 singers and a piano, and he also had a particularly interesting strategy for the use of text. And Max, I wonder if you could tell us about that.
So thank you. I'm Max Whitaker, and when I selected 2 vocalists and piano, the minimalist textures of Reich and Adams came to mind. So what I ended up doing was having the vocalist be more of this kind of textural sound, not using more syllables rather than words. And I had that underlying with a very steady pulse in the left hand of the piano, followed by a very polymeter upper voice. And what I ended up turning out was very Reichian. So I hope you enjoy.
Thank you, Max. Just want to give a little shout out to my colleagues in the music composition department who could not be here tonight, Doctors Shi Wong and Rob Frank. Our department would not run without them, without their collective knowledge and expertise. So I'm very grateful to them. Also, speaking of composition, coming up later in the semester, we have our Emerging Sounds concert, which is a fully produced, fully executed concert of our students' original music, put on entirely by our student composers. And that is the first Friday, Aiden will correct me if I'm wrong on this, first Friday in November, is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Thank you. November 4th, thank you, at 7:30 p.m. in Caruth Auditorium. If you like what you've heard, we certainly would love it if you would come support our composers on a concert in which they will have had more time to compose and rehearse things. But again, thank you for being here tonight. Our next to last piece is by Matthew Foss. Matthew is a new grad student with us this year, coming to us from Tennessee. And his piece is called Ships in the Night. It's for an equally interesting, come on down, Matthew. It's for an equally interesting chamber music combination, horn, viola, and percussion. And I would like for him to tell us a little bit about his strategy for this piece and what this piece is about.
Hey everybody, thank you for coming. At certain points in this creation process, I became distinctly aware that I was the only graduate student. And before this, I wondered why none of the other grad students were in it. And then at 1:30 in the morning, I realized that they knew better. So the whole concept of, like everyone else has said before, writing a piece in 12 hours and not having the slightest clue up until you get your names, what those instruments are going to be, is a unique issue. And I come from Nashville, Tennessee, as Dr. Harder said, and I've played music in every state reachable by 12-passenger van. And this is something completely unique. And I titled this piece Ships in the Night because over the past 3 years, 2 years, it has been an extremely unique time for a lot of us in the sense that there are opportunities that we see, there are people that we see that can come into our lives, and we see them on the outside, and you can pass each other very much like ships in the night, where you have a realization of the presence that something or someone else is there, and part of that is explored in the two melodies that I have. And I hope that you guys enjoy this piece. I really appreciate all of you guys for coming out and the performers who have done such a spectacular job.
Thank you, Matthew. This is the last time I'm going to speak, so I'll just say a couple things real quick. I'm used to telling anyone that will listen to me how great our student composers are, and right now is no exception. Can we have a hand for our collective group of composers who did all the work for tonight? But I'm used to doing that. I think the real hand ought to go to the performers, because without them, our music would not be given body and sinew so beautifully the way they've done. So can we have a tremendous hand for our performers this evening? Thank you. Composers, if we're all still here, can we get a picture afterwards? Just up here somewhere or out in the hall? Thank you. Last on our program tonight is Marco Santisteven. And Marco has written a piece with a very modest title called Bagatelle. It's for a rather generous group of instruments, I think. And I have not really had the chance to talk to Marco about this piece, so I wonder if he would tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Again, I'm Marco Santisteven. Originally, I had intended to have two small pieces, like a fast and a slow one. About 3 in the morning, I realized I'm not going to get to that, so I decided to stick with the one I had and expand on that a little bit. But I chose to tell a bagatelle because a bagatelle is just an older form. It's a light, shortish piece, kind of unassuming. I thought that fit the character of my piece well. Going into this, I didn't really want anything too grand or ambitious, just a light, unassuming work, and that's kind of what I have. So I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Mark.